Hey everyone, welcome back to the shop. Welcome back to the limo. We're still working on this, working on some time stuff with the new distributor and the sniper and all of that. So, um, gonna do some changes to some of the vacuum line routing, and I ran into this very odd issue where the hose that I want to use has a part number on it, and I look up that part number on the manufacturer's Gates, and Gates makes quality products. I've used their stuff for years and years and years, no problem. I look up the part number. I want to get the specs on it, make sure the ID and OD and the materials and stuff are all correct. And it tells me that it doesn't exist. I was like, Jesus, okay. So I Googled that part number, and of course, 20 different things come up. That one part number is actually for a whole bunch of different sizes, from 3/16 all the way up to ½ inch. And so the part number, even though Gates says they don't make it, they actually do make it, and they make it. That one part number covers about 6 or 8 different sizes. So not a very good part numbering system on their part, which is surprising because they're a huge company. And I think they'd be a little smarter than that. But call me crazy. So anyway, you can't just go get that. You have to order it because you need a very specific size. So if you call somewhere, like AutoZone or O'Reilly's or something, and ask for this part number, they're going to be like, "Yeah, we've got it." And I'm like, "Well, do you have it in 3/16 or 3/8 or what size?" And of course, they don't know. It's okay. It's much easier and less pain in the ass to just order it. I ordered 5 feet of it, and that's going to cover the new hoses that we're going to put on this. And I'm going to show you guys the hoses that we're going to use. The other thing I wanted to show you was on the Sniper, there's a few different vacuum ports that come built into the car, or built into the EFI system, not carb. It looks like a carburetor, so you want to call it a carburetor. So there's a few different vacuum ports. There are two 3/16 inch kind of small hole vacuum ports, and those are on the back. And then there's a 3/8 that's also on the back of the unit. I should say on the rear of the unit. Most people don't face it. I don't know. I guess you could if your throttle's on the other side. It would be weird to face it the other way. So anyway, on the rear, there's 3 vacuum ports that you can use, and those are kind of standard. One for your brake booster, one for your vacuum advance on your distributor, and then you have another 3/16, which is a spare for something else, a PCV or whatever. So, um, what most folks don't know is that there is a fourth one, and this isn't something that they advertise or kind of really talk about. They've gotten better about it in recent documentation, but it hasn't. It's one of those things that the Sniper One guys are like, I wish I had another vacuum port, something that I could, use for this or for the brake booster or the PCV or whatever. So on my setup, I decided to use that extra 3/8 port for, I'm going to have one at the rear, which is going to be for the brake booster. And the one at the front is actually going to work better for my PCV because it's on a very specific side, and it's in a specific place on the cylinder or on the valve cover. So we're going to use the two 3/8 ports. So I'll show you what Holley gives you in the directions. Let me change this to a little bit bigger here. So, because then I can see you guys if you guys are typing stuff. I guess if you're watching, it would be no, it's right there. That's where. See, I would suck as a weatherman. So this is the instruction manual. This is the regular factory instruction manual that comes with Sniper. This is available online, so I'm not doing any kind of copyright infringement or anything. What's really funny is on the back, they tell you how not to wire stuff, and they have a whole bunch of examples, like really shitty wiring. Please don't ever do any of these. Please, any wiring, whether it's a Sniper or anything else, car stereo, doesn't matter. Please don't do that. So in the manual, they show you, and let me get, where's my purple pointer? I need my purple pointer. My millipede catcher. So I'll show you guys this so you don't have to, my fingers are a little too big. So this is a shot of the back of the sniper. And they show the IAC, which you don't really need to touch. That's controlled by the ECU. But you have a small 3/16 vacuum manifold here. You have a 3/8, which is a larger, obviously. And they say that's for brake booster, and that's fine. You can use it for that. And then you have another 3/16 on the back here for your vacuum advance on your distributor. Now, what they don't tell you is that there's a fourth one. My alarm's going off. The fourth one, and you can't really see it here. They don't show it on the diagram, but it's right underneath this cover plate. And I'll do a close up and I'll show you guys because we're going to pull out the plug. We're going to put in, make a port happen. So what you'll need is 1/4-inch NPT to 3/8 barb or 3/8 whatever, what is it called? Bead. So this is, now I ordered 2 different ones. They're both stainless steel, and one had branding on it and the other did not. And I was just kind of curious, you know, they're not very expensive. They come in pairs, and I think they were $6 or something for the pair. So I'll show you the first one. And this one is the unbranded guy. He doesn't have any markings anywhere on here. Now, he is really long because he's a barb fitting. And this guy will probably get trimmed off because I don't need that much. I'm running very low pressure vacuum. This isn't, it's not a garden hose. You know, I'm not doing 300 PSI trying to run an air tank or anything. So we'll probably trim off 2 of these, you know, cut this in half. So this is the first one. And this is 1/4-inch NPT. I know that sounds very odd because it's a larger size than this, but that's how NPT works. NPT stands for National Pipe Thread. Whoa, I will just put them back in the box because I don't want to lose them, get those mixed up. By the way, this is brought to you by Rockstar, and they still haven't stopped by. I haven't seen a truck yet. So here's the other set. This one is branded. This one's a little nicer. He's got a thread protector on the end, which is very handy. He goes on there and he kind of screws on, and during shipping, he doesn't jack up the threads. Now this guy, as you can see, he is branded. And what does he say here? Which way is up and down? 304, which is stainless steel. And then it has some numbers, and then it says 1/4 NPT. Get that as close as I can for you guys. Hopefully it, no, it won't focus that close. But anyway, so there's that guy. So we'll leave this guy out for now. And then I want to, oh, that box just came apart. That's cool. I want to show you guys some of the manufacturing differences. So these are basically the exact same part. If I take this off, because I know which one is branded. If you looked at these side by side, you're going to be like, okay, these are the exact same part. The thread lengths are the same. The barb lengths are the same. The wrench size is going to be the same. Now, here's where it gets interesting and kind of different. The weight, you can barely feel that the branded one is a little bit heavier. And I'll show you why it's heavier. So if we look inside the two, now the branded one is the thinner wall down at the bottom here. The unbranded one has the thicker wall for the barb fitting. Now let's switch them around. So we'll do the branded one at the bottom again. Now for the NPT portion, I think actually the branded one has one more thread on him. I think you might have a half thread on him. Anyway, you can see the wall thickness there. So the branded one is on the bottom and the unbranded one is up top. So this guy is thicker on the barb side, thinner on the NPT side. This guy is thinner on the NPT side, but thicker on the barb side. That's why he weighs more. And you can feel the difference in your hand. And uh, here's the question: which one do you use? Because they're both, I mean, these are both going to work great. From here, a race car, anything, these are going to work great. These are stainless steel. They're going to be incredibly durable. I know I have to trim the end on this, and that's not going to be very easy with the Dremel. That will take a lot. So which one do you use? It's going to depend on your application and what it's going into. So for this, for the sniper setup, I'm going to go with the branded one. And the reason being, I need this portion to be very, very strong. I need the pipe thread portion to be strong because I don't, when this breaks, I don't want to have to dig that out. So I want to be able to put a wrench on it and just thread it out. This, being a thinner wall, is more likely to break. And it's nice to have the thicker wall on the outside, but again, we're running very, very low vacuum pressure. Not really necessary to have the thicker wall. So the good news is I have 3 spares, but we're going to use the thicker wall one. And put this guy back in his little origami box. I don't know how they put all this together. These guys are good. I just thought it was kind of funny. They both came in the same exact box. So we'll put our thread protector back on. Now here's another good tip. When you get thread protectors and covers like this, keep them, and I'll show you why. They're great for other stuff if you're doing brake lines or other things like that, and you need a cover up, like a terminal, or if you're trying to mark something for later. Hey, the thing with the blue cover gets a, or it's quarter NPT. It's great for protecting and identification. They give you these for free. Might as well use them. I have a little like fruit cup tray, and I just keep the covers in there whenever I get them. And you'd be amazed at how handy these come. These come in very, very handy later on. So we'll save this guy because we only need one of them. And here's another thing on the sniper. Since we're talking about the drawers, which one do I want? I guess green is going to work. I'll grab a couple. So, hey. So when you have open ports, like you do on the sniper, like I have that one extra 3/16, that very small port, you can get these guys, and they come in a variety of different colors and shapes. You can get these at the hardware store. They're called thread protectors, and that's exactly what they do. They're supposed to go on here, and if you have an exposed thread, they protect the end of it from getting chunked up. So you can get them in a bunch of different sizes. They're just rubber, regular rubber, and they're great for sealing stuff off. You can get them a size. I think this green one's going to work on 3/8. Yeah, he's super tight on there. So if you need to seal off a port, you can use one like that. If you really need to seal it off, you can zip tie it. You can also hot glue under it, E6000, whatever, to hold that guy on there. Now that port is blocked off. So if you do have an open port or whatever, and then if you have a smaller, line, also they work in reverse. I don't have a small line to show you guys, but you can actually, if you had a 3/16 line, you can plug it just like that. If you don't know how this works, I can't help you. So I'm going to show you guys how to put this in. I'm not going to trim this, but I'm going to show you where the thread tape goes and where it comes off in there. So give me a second to put these back. And I just have a little bucket that has a whole bunch of different thread protectors in it. By the way, don't use morettes or wire nuts. They call them morettes in Canada, or I think most people call them morettes. Anyway, wire nuts, don't use those as thread protectors. They have stuff in there that's really going to damage the thread. Um, this is super, super simple. I'm going to bring the camera over and I'm going to get a close up for you guys on where that fourth vacuum port is, and we'll get that guy installed. So give me a second to grab a light, and because we all like working in the dark, right? Anyway, this will be pretty damn quick and easy. Hopefully you guys can see down there. I'm gonna move this just because I'm gonna spill it. Trying not to burp on camera. All right, bring you guys around here. And let me grab a different stand for that camera. Let me see if I can get this camera to stay on this guy. And then just aim him. Oh yeah, that's gonna work pretty well. Let me swap these two around. And we can sort of get you guys. Oh, that's actually a pretty sweet camera move. All right. So now you kind of see you guys and the camera. So our port, our magic fourth port, is right here. Can't really zoom in too much more, but you guys will see it when I pull it out. God, this all sounds so terrible. But there he is right there. And he's another, like I said, he's 1/4 inch. And then he's 1/4 inch MPT. And then you can get these in different sizes. So this is 3/8 because I'm going to be running 3/8 from the PCV, which the PCV is back here, that guy. And he's currently running to the 3/8 line on the back of the sniper. But I'm going to bring him around here once the hose shows up. We'll bring him here, and we're going to run new hose from the brake booster over here to the back of the sniper. This is a cleaner distance. This is a cleaner distance. It's just gonna work a little bit nicer. So let me show you how to get that guy out of there. Oh, what do we think? Antrometric. Like I said, I haven't taken this out yet, so I honestly don't know. And yeah, I don't know if this is intrometric. Let's find out. Bonus. Now this is set at the factory. They do a factory plug here. And it's actually really smart because if you do have the option to do that, it's a big ass plug. It's a regular size plug. There's your plug, your 3/8 or your 1/4 NPT, and you can see it has some paste on it. So we're going to run a Q-tip in there and get rid of the extra paste. Although it's not going to hurt anything, it's just a vacuum line. But there you go. There is one downside to this port, and that is that you cannot use a right angle fitting in there because you can't turn it past. This is the computer that's actually behind this. You can't tighten it, so you have to use a straight fitting. That's kind of a downside of this, but that's part of the deal. So We're going to grab a couple of Q-tips here. And we'll get some alcohol on them. See if we can get some of that paste out. Clean parts are happy parts. Most of the paste came off with the plug. Yeah, there's still a little bit on there. Okay. We're going to call that good for now. I'll throw that away later. For tape, I'm going to show you guys the best tape I've ever used is this. This is Odie Fast Tape. And again, they're not paying me a single dime. I buy this stuff just like you guys do. And this is Teflon tape. And you can use it for air, fuel, water, almost anything. It's not white, it's actually gray. And I'm sure it just shows up white right there. So anyway, this stuff is gray. Does it show up any better? There you go. Yeah, it looks pretty gray. And it's awesome. I absolutely love this tape. Use it on a ton of stuff. When you're doing Teflon tape, the threads, you want to go where the as you're putting the tape on, it's tightening, because when you thread it in, you want the tape to tighten as well. So the downside with Teflon tape is it's very slippery. So we have to hold it a lot as we turn it, because we want it to seat in those threads really tight, but we don't want it to slip. And we want a nice clean line. So you probably only need 2 or 3 passes of this. This is thicker than any of the Chinese tape that you're going to get out there, or even the regular white Teflon tape. And got a few rounds on there. For a lot of people just yank this stuff, but I've always cut it, and I cut it at a slight angle. This is going to be kind of hard to see because I'm blocking myself actually. But I cut it at a slight angle. It makes it a little easier to remove if I have to take it apart. And it's just applying pressure. Now for this, there's a couple of different things you can do. You can open it up, but once you're also on here, you can trim this. If you really want to, you can trim it away because he's already tight on there. So you're just making it a little narrow. This looks rough, but it'll look nice in a second, I promise. This is all the little stuff you do to make it look really nice. So that's it. Now, as I'm turning this in, this tape is technically getting tighter, and that's what you want. So whenever you're doing Teflon tape, you want it to technically get tighter. Because if you do it the opposite way, when you turn it in, it's actually going to unthread and it's going to ball up, and you'll have really good seal where it balls, but you'll have a really crappy seal where it opens up. So let's find the socket that works with this first, just so I'm not hunting around forever and ever. He is a 9/16. Okay. And we're just going to use simple wrench. So with bolts, we like to And all threaded stuff, nuts and bolts, we like to start it by hand. Just to make sure. With that tape on there, it's going to feel silky smooth, but at the same time, it's going to be hard to thread on there because you have that tape. Now, I don't think this socket is also not going to clear that. Oh, he barely clears it. I had to get him right on there. So we're going to keep turning this and make sure he's nice and snug in there. You want to be careful because you're working with an aluminum housing. You don't want to strip it or break it or anything like that. So you want to go super snug. And this is a total feel thing. And I'm not going to like super crank him down. You guys can see exactly how it works. So now I have the 4th port installed on the sniper. And if I really wanted to, this guy is not long enough. That's why we had to get new hose. And this guy, I can tell you right now, is not long enough. But I'll show you. This is, I don't even know who made this hose, but this is far thicker and a larger diameter than this. This is the Gates hose that I'm trying to use with all of the vacuum lines. So this guy goes on here. And then, like I showed you guys before, the new hose that's coming will actually form it so that he'll go something very similar to that. But he'll have a much smoother bend and he won't be kinked right here. So, and he'll be a little bit further back because we're going to cut off part of that guy. So it'll look something similar to this. We're clear of all the throttle stuff. We'll be clear of the kick down. Hopefully we can angle it where he stays off of the valve cover. This will help keep him off of the valve cover. So that's how he's going to work. It's a shorter distance and a cleaner distance to run this to the front versus running the brake booster, which has to come all the way over here, all the way up to this. The other reason we're doing that is because the rear one has the ability, if you upgrade software and you get into a trans controller, you want the PCV hooked up to that, not the brake booster, because the brake booster will stop working. So when you hook up the trans controller, this port gets shut off. So you'll have to run a V out of this to run to your brake booster, or you'll have to find different vacuum. You can run this up to the air cleaner and then run this to the vacuum. But when you get into the trans controller, this port gets shut off. So that's the reason why we're doing it this way. Who's here? Oh, hey, Liz. So that's our cool little 4th vacuum port. Oh my God. Now this guy's really on here. He would hold some pressure, no problem. So we're just going to put him back so he's up and out of the way, and so we don't forget him. So that's kind of it. It's very simple to install. And then, like I said, if for some reason you're not going to use that, which one do we use? The green? Grab our green plug, slide him over, little miniature zip tie, and you're closed off. Now your vacuum port is closed and you don't have to worry about any kind of vacuum leak and this thing trying to adjust timing on distributor, et cetera, et cetera. So, and then if you want to use it again, there you go. There's your vacuum port. So even if you want, you can use the plug. Of course, I threw that on the ground, the cover for the for the tape. I did lose a socket earlier, and of course it bounced to the middle of the car, like almost dead center, like right where the literally the middle of the transmission, one of the hardest places to get to. So that's it. That's our fourth hookup. And what was the wrench size I used, just so I can let you guys know? It was 1/4 inch. So 1/4 inch MPT and 1/4 inch Allen to get the plug out, which makes sense. So not too shabby. This whole setup is coming along. We're still doing, obviously, a ton of wiring over here. Getting there, slowly but surely. And I'm gonna bring you guys back over here. I'm gonna move this mount because otherwise I'm gonna trip on it. I will end up face first somewhere. So that's kind of it. There's no other secrets on this. I'm just going to put tools away. And for, less than $10, you can have an extra port on your sniper, which is very handy, especially if you're running a brake booster and your PCV goes to the sniper. PCV generally does go to the sniper, and brake booster, I should say, to the carb. Brake booster should also go to the carb, but sometimes you don't have enough vacuum ports, or you have to tee stuff off, which is not always good, because if the booster fails or PCV gets clogged, then you have problems with that. They should have their own independent hose. But that's it. That's kind of a neat little bonus that a lot of people didn't really know about. And like I said, the only downside is you can't put a right angle on there, which would be really cool. That would really clean stuff up. Also, when you are looking for the adapters, the NPT adapters, please go with stainless steel or aluminum. Don't use brass. Actually, don't use aluminum. Use stainless steel. The less chance of breakage, the better. You don't want to be somewhere and have something that, the nozzle is snapped off, or it corrodes to the point where you can't get it out. Just use stainless steel. Use a nice thread tape, stainless steel. Don't over torque it. If you have a vacuum leak, it's pretty easy to find. So if you do 3 laps of the Teflon tape, nice snug fit. NPT is kind of cool. It's actually cone shaped. So the more you thread in, the tighter it gets as it goes in. So you don't have to go, if you all the way bottom out, you can potentially crack the mating piece, but you don't have to go all the way in. You'll feel it. It's a definite feel thing. I'm sure there's a torque for it, but torque's going to be messed up because different levels of, or different wrap numbers of tape are going to give you different torque settings. So practice by feel, and then you can find vacuum leaks by there's the carb cleaner method. You can spray carb cleaner, and that'll help you find leaks. There's the smoke method. You can do that. You pump smoke through the system and it'll show you where the leaks are. So there's different ways to find vacuum leaks. Then you just tighten it up a little bit, or take it apart, put on new Teflon tape, and tighten it back up. That's the best way to do it. So that's kind of it for tonight. Should see this big meatball millipede down here. You guys want to see him? These guys have been good the last few days because we had rain yesterday. So yesterday and today they've been pretty good. I've only found a couple, not like the hundreds that I had in here. So come here, buddy. Let's see if you guys. He's a big boy. So we're gonna give him a new home. I'm all about rehoming. There you go, buddy. Halfway into the yard. There's a lot more food out there for him than there is here in the garage. So that's it. That's it for tonight. I wanted you guys to see the difference in those parts because they're literally the exact same part. 1/4 inch MPT to 3/8 barb. They're the exact same part. I think one pair was $6 and the other pair was $7. You know what? Let's just for grins. I was hoping to have everything here, but with Black Friday and all of that other shit, it's been really hard. So let's take a look and see how much these guys were. Where are my fittings? So this was one set was $6.83. I don't know if you guys can see that. No. $6.83. And then the other set, this is the branded set, was $6.99. So, oh, the other stamp on there is 10.5, which is a nice rating. But it's funny. Oh, they do show the end on there. So even in the pictures here, you can sort of see, I don't know, it's not going to let me show you guys the pictures. You can see the thickness, the wall thickness on the MPT side and on the barb side. And it looks like they do that on all the different sizes. So there you go, $7. Also, 1/4 MPT to 3/8 barb is a pretty common size. So for $7, or I guess $15 and everything with tax and all that shit. It's good to have those because you can also use them on other carbs. You can use them for airline and you can use them for a whole bunch of different things. It's a very common size. So to have a spare or two is not a bad thing. And, for 10 or $15, it's worth it. That's why they come in pairs. So even if you're just spending $7, you have one spare. You're going to find another spot to use that, whether it's for an airline, whether it's for a fuel line, whatever it is, you'll find another spot for it. So that's about it for tonight. We're going to do, we've got, like I said, we've got a ton more electronics in there. That's why the door's open right now. Because I've been doing a bunch of stuff under the dash with ignition and switch power and all that stuff. So we'll get more into that later. And I'll admit I have not found a solution to that yet, but I do keep trying. So my neighbors are thankfully very patient with me starting, turning off, starting, turning off. Turn off the key and it keeps running and I got to come over here and yank the alternator. So yeah, neighbors are being cool about it. And I'm getting a lot closer. I'm finding out what doesn't work, which is kind of the long way to do it. But when you have a disaster like this, that wiring mess trying to get something to work is a lot. So not going to stop until it's done. Also, the other thing you guys can see, I don't know if you can actually see it, but remember all the overspray on the windshield from when we painted the cowl area? All that stuff's gone. Windshield's super clean now. If I turn off the lights, maybe, I don't know. Ooh, that looks kind of cool with the engine bay lit up. Yeah, now you can see the windshield. Hey, wow, that looks really cool. Wait, let me try this. There we go. Oh, I should do all live streams like this. What the hell have I been doing? What the hell? This is awesome. All right, I guess when the limo fires up and the tub's moving water around, I guess that's when we do all of this, right? Oh, this is sweet as hell. I didn't even realize this. All right. I never thought about it. All right, cool. Oh, you know what I can do too? Is I can do this, let that light change, and then come back here. Now we have a whole bunch of different colors, maybe. Yeah, it doesn't work as well when it's different colors, right? Yeah, it works better when they're timed together. That's cool as hell. I like that. All right. It works really well with the white car too. Now it's going to be super bright. So yeah, we get these guys back in sync. There we go. Now they're back in sync. You guys didn't tell me that that looked that cool. Yeah, the hot tub rave, the Cadillac hot tub rave. I didn't realize it. That's what I want the car to do. I didn't realize that without the light in here, the shop would look that cool. Having my own SEMA show here. So that's about it for tonight. Like I said, I got a ton of wiring still to do. And still have a whole bunch of fine tuning on the Sniper. The other thing I've been debating, and you guys can chime in on this too. I'm debating between selling the Sniper 1 and the MSD box and the coil and all the wiring for it, and just getting a Sniper 2. So if I did that as a whole package, that would offset the cost of the Sniper 2. The Sniper 2 is a considerably nicer system, much more upgradable. Sort of debating that. If you guys think that's a better idea, then shoot a comment or shoot me a message. If you hate the idea, shoot a comment, shoot a message. Just one of those things that popped into my head. I'm like, well, I have this, but I also know that the Sniper 2 is a much better software, much better hardware. I don't really need the MSD box. I'm not trying to get 800 horsepower out of this, and I don't need an 8-second limo. Of course I need an 8-second limo. This isn't designed to be an 8-second limo, so it might be a better option for cruising stability and all of that, just to run straight Sniper 2 with the Sniper ECU and call it good. The other advantage of the Sniper 2 is you can run a Bluetooth module and you can run a tablet. You get a ton more sensors. I can put the fuel gauge in there. I can have a speedometer, GPS, all that shit. So having that as a dash would actually be really nice. You can't do the Bluetooth module with the Sniper 1. So maybe we go, sell this as a package. That offsets the cost of the Sniper 2. Sniper 2s are really nice. And I would get the same, obviously get the same brushed finish or polished finish. I don't know what they call it. And it doesn't matter. Black, polished, it's kind of not relevant. But so yeah, if you guys like that idea, hate that idea, let me know. Again, we have 480 horsepower here, so I don't need any more horsepower. I have 480 some foot-pounds of torque. I don't need any more torque. I'm doing good on both of those. For a cruiser like this, that is plenty. 300 horsepower would be plenty for this thing. I'd need a ton more torque, 400 torque, but 300 horsepower is plenty. So to have almost 500 is awesome. I don't really need all that extra to push me over the 500 edge. So, and maybe the Sniper 2 delivers what that stuff can, but less stuff to break, less stuff to program, less wiring to do, all of that, and gets me a little closer to the 500. So let's see if it's going to make easier for the limo, more convenient for you. Yeah, it's not really a convenience thing. It is a little bit easier to wire, but it's going to be less maintenance. Not that the MSD stuff breaks down; it's pretty much all solid state. But there's a lot more tweaking involved, and especially with just the Sniper ECU matching up with the MSD, with the CD box. So CD stands for capacitive discharge, and there's big ass capacitors in there, and they send a lot of volts, a lot. It's actually cool what it does. Um, and that one has the rev limiter built in, although you have a rev limiter built into the Sniper ECU too. So it's sort of, you know, do I want biscuits and gravy or do I want Captain Crunch and Fruity Pebbles? What do I want for breakfast? That's not a very good comparison. Do I want biscuits and gravy or do I want crepes Florentine? There you go. That's a better reference. And so, yeah, that'll be coming up. If I swap out to the Sniper 2, I'll definitely do stuff with that and show you guys. It's going to be extremely similar to this setup. Um, all of the connections will be the same. All of the ports will be the same. The only difference is the ECU, the hardware ECU, and the connector going to the handheld unit. Plus, we can add the Bluetooth adapter. So I'll get a little tablet, just an Android tablet, small with a suction cup on the back. That way I have a dash. And I can have oil pressure and I can have fuel gauge and speedo and all that stuff for when I'm driving. Not driving, tuck it under the seat, and it's still that nice clean look. So we'll see how it goes. Again, I don't want to, trying to do this thing without spending kindig money on it and still making it super, super cool. And by the way, with regard to the headlights and turn signals, I got something so cool for you guys. So cool. I can't believe I figured it out. And I figured it out totally on accident. It was one of those, you know, uh, it's like microwaves. The microwave was an accident. Guy had a Hershey bar in his pocket and he walked past this guy's bench and it melted instantly. And he was like, what the hell? And that's how they figured out you could use microwaves for cooking. So same sort of thing. I found this out on accident and I was like, this is so cool. It's going to save a ton of money. It'll be so simple. It'll be really cool. So when that comes up, when doing the headlights and turn signals, I'll definitely get you guys on board and you'll get to see that from start to finish, from the original concept to fabricating the mounts for the lights, to all the wiring, to the switching, testing, all of that stuff. It'll be pretty cool. What else we got? Had a dark brown moment. Yeah, kind of. But I don't have guys in a VW bus chasing me down yet. Although Speedy Cop does have a VW bus, and it's not very fast, but he could probably catch me. He's a pretty good driver. He could probably catch me. So that's it for tonight. Wanted to get you guys that info on the Sniper ones, and then little info on how to do vacuum ports and stuff like that. When you have different carbs, when you have like a Holley 750 CFM or any of the other Holley carbs, you'll be able to look at, check your owner's manual, but you might have other vacuum ports available than the original ones that come on there. So if you do need vacuum lines, check your manual and also check online. Holley has a great, really great support section. And there's also groups on Facebook that are fantastic. Most of them are fantastic. You're going to get the trolls and the assholes anywhere you go, but most of the folks on the Holley sniper stuff and the Holley carb stuff are really cool people. So, um, and you get a bunch of a bunch of the old timers in there. Damn, those guys know some shit. They've seen some shit. It'd terrify you. It'll absolutely terrify you. Using garden hose for fuel line and shit like that. You're like, oh my god, okay. Well, we just needed to do one pass to qualify. Oh, dude. Okay. So yeah, they'll tell some tales that'll make your head spin, or throw up, one of the two. Um, so yeah, that's where we're at on the vacuum lines. When the new hose gets here, it'll be probably this weekend. It's eBay, so God knows how long. And I'll get those formed, and when those go in, I'll show you guys. I'll do a follow up to this to show you how the brake booster got routed and how the PCV got routed. And you'll see the stubby. Oh, I put them away already. You'll see the stubby barb fitting because that's going to be hard to cut. That stainless is not easy to cut, and it's not easy to file and sand down and make clean. So you guys will get to see all that stuff. So yeah, if you have any questions, comments, whatever, you can put them down there. I'll get back to you guys. You can also message me, email me. I'm not hard to find. And I'd love to hear back from you guys. Thanks to all the new subscribers. I've seen a bunch of you guys. It's been, I don't know, 8 or 10 in the last week or so. So it's great to see that. I love seeing that stuff. I'm glad you guys are enjoying this because I'm not getting paid for any of this and I'm not promoting it at all. You guys are coming here because you're telling friends about it. And, I'm sure occasionally there's the scroller that does pop over, but I'm glad you guys are liking it. And I'm going to keep doing it as long as I can, even if I do start getting paid, I'm still going to do stuff like this. So that's the plan. And I hope everyone is, I know you guys up north are freezing your asses off. I'm sorry about that. Oh, there's a palm tree branch and the wind is going and it's tapping on the rain gutter. I'm like, what the hell is that noise? I know you guys are freezing up there. I'm sorry. I will be back in Ohio, not next week, but the following. And I'll be there for about a week. So we'll be doing live streams from my shop in Ohio and probably MR6 stuff because we're not doing Road Atlanta because my son decided to get married the weekend of Road Atlanta. So I got kind of jacked out of that one. I can't believe he didn't check with me and my racing schedule prior to scheduling his wedding. That is very upsetting as a dad. So we'll be prepping MR6, and we'll also be doing a bunch of stuff on the Monza and getting it prepped for the upcoming season. So we want to make sure these cars are key on, ready to go, tires, brakes, fire suppression, seat, all that stuff. We're going to make sure we have 2 happy cars ready to rock for top of the year. Also, when I come back from Ohio, I got a special one for you guys. We're going to be, I'll save it as a surprise. We're going to be stripping out a car and you guys are going to come along with, and you're going to get to enjoy. It'll be a long stream. It'll be a few hours, but you're going to get to see at least me. I don't know if anyone else is going to come down and join me, but you're going to see me strip out a car and get it ready to race. Regular street car, the license plate and insurance and everything. We're going to strip it out and get it ready to kick ass. So that'll be a really long stream. That'll be after I get back. So that'll be close to Christmas. Maybe a nice Christmas present for you guys. Watching me and hopefully a couple of friends take apart a car. Hopefully that's a cool Christmas. I'll wear a Santa hat if you really want me to. But yeah, so there's a bunch of stuff coming up. We're not short on projects. And think that's about it. I'm gonna have to change the oil in the motorcycle soon, so we might include that in the NC 700. Um, we might do that as a stream. We've got a ton of stuff coming up, and 2026 is going to be awesome. We have a ton of racing coming up, and since we missed out on Road Atlanta, we're going to double down now. We're going to be taking 2 cars to most of the events next year. So we do have driver seat options open. If you guys are interested in that, definitely shoot me a message. Let me know. And we'll be doing shakedown on both the MR6 and the Monza at different autocrosses and track days prior to doing any racing. So um, that's where we're at. We're still moving along. It's one of those you're by yourself, so the motivation is low, and when you're dealing with electronics, it's just you try 20 different things and it doesn't work, and dealing with some mess that someone else left is awful. I hate it, but it doesn't stop me. I keep going. So, and I'm glad you guys are liking it. That's the cool part. Um, so that's it for tonight. I'm going to get back onto the wiring process, and um, I will catch you guys when the hose comes in. I will catch you guys, and we'll redo the hose, and I'll show you how all of that stuff turned out. And trying to think what other updates we'll have. I'll probably update you on the Sniper 1 versus Sniper 2 system setup. Maybe Santa brings a Sniper 2 for Christmas. We'll see. So yeah, thank you guys very much for hanging out tonight. I really appreciate it. If you have any questions, comments, whatever, put them down there. Shoot me a text. Shoot me a regular email, whatever. I'm very easy to find. And don't forget to show someone that you love them today. Give them a kiss on the cheek. Give them a kiss on the tip of their nose. Hold their hand. Give it a squeeze. It's really important for them, but it's far more important for you. All right. Thanks, everyone. I will catch you. I'll catch you later on this week. We'll do a bunch of stuff this weekend, too. All right. Thanks, everyone. You know what we should end on? We should go back to the rave. Let's go back to the rave. Oh, that looks cool. Boots and pants and boots and pants. Here we go. I don't think I have anything in the way here. Oh, that looks so cool. I need the lights to flash. Right? All right. We'll work on the rave settings. That's so cool.